Let's now proceed to speak with news around Africa and across the nation Nigeria. You're welcome to YTV's National News. My name is Anuluapo Idowu. The Senate has met with the heads of security agencies and the economic team over the recent security challenges in the country. The Senate, as of 11:35 a.m., suspended its rules and allowed non-lawmakers to gain access to the plenary. And recall that the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, had 2 weeks ago summoned for a meeting last Tuesday the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Gala, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, Director General of Department of State Services, Yusuf Biji, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. The Senate President stated that the Senate preferred to have a robust team, including that of the economic team. The meeting was thereafter postponed to today, while the invitation was extended to the Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru, Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, Minister of Police Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Gaidan, Minister of State for Police Affairs, Iman Ibrahim, Minister of Interior, Honorable Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, Minister of Finance, Olawale Edun, and Director General of National Intelligence Agency, Ahmed Rufai Abubakar. The Senate leader, Kwame Bamidele, then moved the motion that the Senate resolved into a closed-door session to receive security briefings. The lawmakers and the various heads of security and economic teams thereafter went into a closed-door session after a voice vote by the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. Meanwhile, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, supervised the swearing-in of the 3 newly elected senators during plenary today. The lawmakers are Prince Pam Wadkon of Action Democratic Party, Plateau North, Professor Anthony Ani of All Progressives Congress, APC, Ebonyi South, and Mustafa Musa, All Progressives Congress, Yobe East. The oath taken was administered by the Clerk of the Senate, Mr. Chinedu Akubueze, at exactly 11:41 a.m. They were subsequently led to their respective seats after the swearing-in ceremony. Away from that, now the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has said that the alcoholic content in sachet or small bottles of less than 200 ml is 30% alcoholic. NAFDAC, however, said this percentage is too high, noting that beer contains only 4 to 8% of alcohol. The agency disclosed this in a press statement made available to news correspondent by the head of Public Relations Office, NAFDAC, Christiana Obiaze-Kwo. Recall that NAFDAC commenced the enforcement of the ban on alcoholic beverages in sachet, PET, and glass bottles of 200 ml and below on February 1, 2024. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeye, during a press briefing in Abuja, noted that as of January 31, 2024, no such beverages were registered with the agency. Adeye's commencement and announcement had generated repeated protests by distillers and labor unions, who said the move would cost 500,000 workers their job. The agency noted that Nigeria was one of the 193 member states of the World Health Organization that reached a historical consensus on a global strategy to reduce the harmful use of alcohol by adopting Resolution WHA 63.13 at the 63rd session of the World Health Assembly held in Geneva 2010. Away from that now to Lagos State, where a 24-year-old man, Omosumi Samuel, also known as Toby Woods, has been reported missing by his family in the Bagada area of Lagos State. The foreign job maker who lives with his elder brother had been missing since last Wednesday, and his whereabouts had since remained unknown till date. The efforts made by family and friends to contact him proved abortive, as his phone number was switched off, so they took to their social media platforms to create awareness about his sudden disappearance. News correspondent learned that it had also caused a panic among customers who patronize his furniture business, 360 furniture, both physically and online. His elder brother, identified as Kwelumi Omosumi, who spoke to news correspondent on the phone, revealed that the last time he spoke to his sibling, or the last time he set his eyes on his sibling, was when he left for work on Wednesday. And in Niger State, a lady, Aisha Aliyu, has allegedly killed her husband, Idris Amadou, over a disagreement over Koita relations in Nasarawa village, Lapai local government area of Niger State. Aisha, 19, and her husband, 24 years of age, had been in marriage for only 2 months before the incident happened in the early hours of Monday. According to a source in the village who spoke on Monday with newsmen, the couple went into an argument before the lady picked up a kitchen knife and stabbed Amadou in the neck. Aisha was said to have gone on to stab Amadou in several other parts of his body before he collapsed. And when the neighbors heard Amadou scream, they rushed into the house and met him in a pool of his blood. They rushed him to a nearby community hospital in Lapai, but he died before they could get to the hospital. When the neighbors arrived at the hospital, the doctors on duty confirmed that he was brought into the hospital dead. A source in the community disclosed to newsmen that Aisha was seen in the village after the incident. Meanwhile, State Police Public Relations Officer Wasiu Abiodun, when he was contacted on the phone, disclosed that Aisha was on the run. Abiodun later sent an SMS confirming the story and saying that the matter was still under investigation. It's news around Africa and across the nation, Nigeria. We are still on to the national news on Immaculate Television. A brief now into the world of entertainment and sport. The Islamic police in Nigeria's northern state of Kano said they have arrested a popular female TikToker for posting indecent and un-Islamic content on social media platforms. 2 weeks ago, the police unit known as Hisbah launched a manhunt for 6 TikTokers who they say constantly violate Islamic guidelines in their use of the social media. Hisbah spokesperson Lawal Fage told BBC that Moja Ibrahim Kunya was arrested in the early hours of Tuesday along with her boyfriend. Ms. Kunya is accused of using vulgar and uncouth language in her videos, which are watched by millions of people. She has not commented on the allegation, but has been seen in an unverified video circulating on social media since her arrest. She is heard saying that she did not steal anything, and she thanks God for that. When announcing the manhunt, Hisbah head Aminu Darua said the TikTok users failed to comply with previous orders to tone down their content. And in sports, President Bola Tinubu has, in the early hours of today, hosted Nigeria's national football team, the Super Eagles, at the State House Council chambers. Tuesday's encounter comes barely 48 hours after they battled unsuccessfully for the top spots at the 2024 African Cup of Nations against host Ivory Coast. Nigeria lost to the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire at the AFCON finals played on Sunday. And in a statement released after the match, Tinubu had commended the team, the coach, the crew, and the entire management team for their hard work, assiduity, and sacrifice to come this far in the tournament, acknowledging the hurdles they consistently surpassed with steadily improving performance as they moved through to the finals. And before we put the news to a halt, remember that you can stream our live programs on multiple platforms. For iPhone users, Limex World TV app is where to find us. As well, for Android users, NetNiger TV app is where we are. Once and again, thank you for joining on this edition. My name is Anolo Akbo Edo, and on behalf of the entire news production crew, as well as the executive producer of this newscast, Eyitayo Folorunsho, thank you for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.